I'm gonna look through my phone just to make sure. As people come in.
Hey, so if you need me to take off my glasses, Javi, just tell me.
Oh, um, oh, I
The
see.
only
Yeah.
the only thing
Oh,
is
we're live now.
I can't see anything. Hi.
Hello, everyone. As we gather, we'll wait for people to come in and join us for Teatristas in Quarantine conversation with Evelina Fernandez. We got two people. All right,
Yay!
we are live. Well, we'll wait as people gather around. Man, people are on time. Still figuring this out. Oh, look at us. We have um captions. I'm just troubleshooting this off for everybody.
Awesome.
All right. So if you don't understand our East LA slang, you can yeah, so see if Zoom or Facebook figures it out. All right. We'll wait till like maybe 12 people to come in. Give it 5 minutes as Facebook notifies it.
Okay.
All right. We have Juan Luisa
Hi, Juan.
Fernanda. Hello, folks.
Hey.
We're just waiting for a couple more folks. I think we can get there. Let's get to 12 and then we'll start. Where that's a but
Um, so maybe I should show people our house.
yeah, look at that. What year was it built?
1929.
Oh, 1929. Wayne is watching.
Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne. Hi, Juan Luisa.
Yeah, our house was built in 1929. We live in Monterey Park, which like is a really interesting neighborhood in Los Angeles. We're just east of downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So the population in Monterey Park is basically 75% Asian and 25% Latino. So it's a great neighborhood.
Yeah, Monterey Park.
Yeah. We're
In
just,
19,
did I say 1 mile north of East LA?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have our number. Hello, everyone. I'm Javi, and we're joined with Evelina Fernandez, playwright, actress, mother,
Hi,
wife extraordinaire, uh,
sister, doctor.
sister, daughter, Chola.
That's right.
I'll get to a Chola question a little later, but this is Teatristas in Quarantine, our weekly conversation with Latino Theater Company members, staff, and our artistic family. Those have come to play with us at our theater and theaters across the country. As actors, and as we're still in quarantine, at least in California, till May 15, or as we see when they tell us we can leave. We're trying to connect with our community in this capacity, and we thought this would be a good way to get to know you all, and for you to know our family and what we're doing and what we've been doing. And we're joined by today with Evelina Fernandez to have just a conversation. But before we start, we want to honor the memory of our colleague, friend, a legend, Chola as well, our wonderful Diane Rodriguez, who passed last Friday. And for me, I know, Evelina, you had a longer relationship, friendship with her. Mine was brief as a graphic designer and as an actor. But what can you tell us how you met Diane, or how do you remember Diane?
Well, yeah, we go back a long way. I actually met Diane when I was performing in Zoot Suit by Luis Valdez, and she was a member of El Teatro Campesino at the time. And when we started Zoot Suit at the Taper, they were on a world tour.
Mm.
I think it was with Fin del Mundo. And then Teatro Campesino came back, and we got to meet all of them. And that was the first time I met Diane and JD. Now, Jose Luis, my husband, has known them a lot longer because they were from the Bay Area, and Jose Luis was in San Jose. So Jose Luis actually went to their wedding.
Wow.
That's how long he's known them. And so, I've been thinking, she's been on my mind so much this last week. Our dog is trying to get in the door. Maybe if my husband's watching, he can make his way over here.
He'll make a cameo.
Jose Luis, can you open the door for Othello?
I was gonna mention. I was thinking, as we figure out this whole Zoom and live stream thing, and we had our technical difficulties last week too, and there were some minor ones today. But I watched 2 live streams. One of them was Diego Luna and Gael Garcia. Yeah. And what was interesting is that they were frozen for like 15 minutes of the conversation. They had a bad signal. They had a bad signal. What was it? There was they kept getting cut off.
I mean, it's not just us.
Yeah, it's not just us, and
maybe it's a Mexican thing.
Yeah, maybe it's a Mexican thing. But one thing that I remembered from that conversation, and we'll go back to Diane Rodriguez, but just so that one thing that I remembered about that conversation was that they said these are minor problems. We should be about that. We're privileged enough to be indoors, to be able to communicate in this online, to be able to have a roof. So and that was like, this is all these technical difficulties or whatever's going on. It's like we're all discovering this. So that was something I wanted to hear from these millionaire celebrities that couldn't figure it out. So you were sharing about Diane. You said
she's been on my mind so much since we found out a week ago. And the thing about Diane is that she was she had this drive and ambition. And when Jose Luis started the Latino Theater Initiative at the Taper, and then he left, for her to say, hey, I want that job, and to get it, after Jose Luis left, I've been thinking, wow, that was pretty amazing of her, because at the time she had, she was an actor in Los Angeles and, doing things here and there. But for her to actually go to Gordon and say, hey, Luis Alfaro and I want to take over this, and for them to be able to do it, and not only that, but the thing about Diane is that she was global, yes, our roots are the same in terms of us coming from Chicano theater. She was from Teatro Campesino. I was from Teatro de la Esperanza. But she was totally comfortable in so many different worlds,
Yeah.
And she made an impact in so many different worlds. I mean, I think she made an impact here in Los Angeles for all of us.
Right.
You, Harvey, me.
Yeah.
She supported me in many ways.
Yeah.
But, she was also in Poland and, supporting other artists, of all different kinds of backgrounds. And
yeah.
She was, into experimental theater, and she wasn't, just focused on Chicano theater. And I really admire that about her.
Yeah.
And also I just feel like there's just going to be such a huge void,
Yeah.
She filled up a lot of space, in our world, and it's just it's hard, really hard.
Yeah. It was. I was trying to. I mean, we were talking about yesterday when we were, and we'll get to that more of wanting to write, during this time, since we have so much time, and I kept thinking. Over the course of last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, even all the way to today, as all the memorials from everybody, Luis Alfaro, Patricia Garza, Armando Molina, La Latino Theater Company. I mean, the public, I mean, it was everywhere. For me, it felt like, because it was in the weekend, it felt like I woke up the next day and we all went to the same show, and it was the Diane Rodriguez show. Her name was on the marquee and every seat was sold out. Like, it was a standing room only, because we were, and we woke up to these beautiful reviews, right? Like, it was a critic's pick in each city. And because everywhere, I mean, it was like you just scrolled up through your Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and it was, just amazing. Like, just where the impact, not just, as you mentioned, not just the Latino theater or Chicano theater, but the American theater. And that's one of the things that, part of the Latinx Theater Commons, or even, the Latino Theater Company, is that having this national voice, not just in the United States, but even globally. And, she went to Poland, so that was beautiful to see from people of all walks of life. And also, even going back to the Chicano movement, because you saw folks that are not teatristas, that are, from the Chicano movement, the walkouts, UFW, so you started seeing that, and you started seeing, the roots of where she came from and why she started doing theater and the type of theater that we do, right? It's, it's theater for the people, for our community. So that was, for me, beautiful. And I think that, I think we were hearing the news, some of it, as we were starting our Zoom. And I talked with Jose Luis, do you want to continue this? And it was beautiful to just, she would want this, right? Let's just continue. As everybody's been mentioning on the thing, like, oh, honey, you go ahead, right? Like, I hear that every time I read Honey. I hear that we produced, the Latino Theater Company produced the Sweetheart Deal, that she wrote and directed in 2016. 2017. And we had a video that we just posted it a couple of days ago. And just hearing her laugh, as just everything everybody describes, her red lipstick, the way she dressed, how she would walk into the room, and you knew she was there.
She had a great style. I mean, she had an amazing style, and hers in JD's house was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Every time I'd go over, man.
Yeah, I got to go once to do a reading of another play of hers, Pitch Like a Girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and and you can see the view of the one of the five. So in that honor, I think it's as continuing honoring her as soon as, I mean, we're doing it in this platform, but as soon as we can get back on any stage or in front of a computer to write, I think that she would love that. So as we were talking about, how you met Diane, what's that?
I still hear her voice.
Yeah.
I hear her voice. We used to call each other sister, but we used to call each other sister. Hey, sister.
Why is that? Just
a Chicano way of saying sister.
You're right.
Hey, sister.
Sister.
Yeah. So, we have to honor her.
Yeah.
So out of this madness, and hopefully we'll have something at our theater and many other theaters.
Yeah. Diane, we miss you, love you, and everybody that's joining us and watching this. Continue in, pushing for what she pushed for, and to have us on stage, not just, to share our stories, not just Latinx folks, but people of color and women, of course, to direct and to write on the big stages. And speaking of that, writing, acting, you mentioned you met her during when you were doing Zoot Zoot. So, but even before that, do you remember when the theater bug bit you, or how back as a kid, or what was the first play that you saw that remember, like, I want to do this?
Well, it's interesting because, I'm born and raised in East LA. I went to Rowan Avenue Elementary School and Stevenson Junior High School, Garfield High School, East LA College, Cal State LA, and all the East
All the East LAs.
I actually started, my first memory is of my mom reading to me. So my mom used to read to me. I couldn't read, but I would memorize the books. And so when it was time to turn the page, I had that memorized and I would turn the page. And, so in elementary school in East LA, we had creative writing. Yeah. And so that's actually when I started writing short stories, and those short stories were actually, like, my mom still has like the East LA newspaper, and they would be published in there. Then when I got to junior high school, my brother was already at Garfield and he started taking drama. And so when I got to Stevenson, I was like, hey, I want to take drama. So I took drama and had an amazing teacher, Mr. Hunter. He was a drama teacher at
Stevenson.
You went to Stevenson too?
Yeah, I went to Stevenson also. My drama teacher at Stevenson was Miss Kallstrom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mr. Hunter was long gone by then. I always think about this because Mr. Hunter actually took us to see him in a play.
Oh, wow.
So we were, I think about it, this teacher, I don't know how, he must have been in his 30s back then. So he takes the drama class, all these little chicanitos to see him perform in The Odd Couple. Right? And so I was asking my best friend, who remembers everything about, our childhood, where was it? Where did we I think she said UCLA.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I used to go as, and in Stevenson, they took us to see Romeo and Juliet at UCLA. So maybe that was probably the same program.
Yeah. And so I remember seeing him on stage, and I was just like in awe of his talent. I knew this man, and he was on stage, and he was really the first person to tell me, you're talented. You should think of being an actress. And actually, we did an opera called Amal and the Night Visitors at a Stevenson Junior High School. And he cast me as the mother.
Oh, wow.
And I could not sing, but I could act. And so somehow I pulled that one off. And I'll never forget that Mr. Hunter was the one that, put me on the stage for the first time. And then went to Garfield, took drama there too. But right when I got there is when all the funding for drama, started to cut. There weren't any main stage productions anymore at Garfield High School. So,
for me, I mean, I went to Belvedere, which is literally like not even a mile from Rowan. It's like crazy how close it was from both elementary schools, Stevenson, and then I went to your rival school, Roosevelt, and then East LA College, and then Fidham and all these other schools to have a graphic design background. But what I remember that similar to you, you're saying that your brother was in theater, and my older brother was in theater, and I had done theater when I was a kid, but he's the one that got it in high school. But in terms of funding, my graduating year was our last year that theater had funding, and even that it had little funding. I mean, we had a fundraise and all that stuff, and then now a lot of these theaters have been abandoned. You don't really see plays and that type of stuff. Did you end up?
Except for at Garfield High School.
They started a great program that we've been collaborating with.
There, and they're putting up main stage productions.
Yeah, I got to see Stand and Deliver last year. I walked into Garfield. I actually used to attend Garfield Summer School because Garfield had some cute girls. But do you remember? So So you were in this play, the musical,
Yeah,
and
Fallen Visitors. And then, we used to do little skits. And the first play I was in, because it's Robert Louis Stevenson Junior High School, they always did Treasure Island.
yeah. Oh my God.
The very first play I was ever in was Treasure Island with Mr. Hunter, and I was a pirate, of course.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
I'll never forget that. Long John Silver, he had this kid had his leg tied up like this, right? And at the end of the play, we're supposed to come out and charge at him, and his side is supposed to like shoot us, and we're supposed to die. Well, they were fooling around back there, didn't come out and shoot us, so we kept going toward this poor guy who's hopping backward on one leg, and then he falls into the orchestra pit. And that's how the play ends. And we were so worried that Mr. Hunter was going to be upset with us, and he was like, hey, we had a different ending.
Right.
So we'll have the right ending tomorrow.
What was so after that, I mean, what did you?
And then, okay, man, it would take us
right.
But and then I went to Garfield High School. Wasn't a really good student there. I basically only went to 3 classes: drama, choir, and typing. Thank God I went to typing. That saved me. But anyway, I got married to a rock musician when I was 19 years old.
All right.
Yeah. Biggest mistake. And then, back then there used to be like this program called the Equal Opportunity Program.
Yeah.
In East LA, they were giving jobs out to people, and I was like, man, I better get a job.
Right.
So, because my older siblings were like, what are you going to do with your life? This is before I got married. I'm like, I'm going to go to cosmetology school. There was a Maranello School of Beauty right there on Whittier Boulevard. And I went there, and I was just really bad at it, really, really bad at it. So then I said, I'm going to get a job. So I landed up getting this job at Cal State LA in the Office of Latin American Studies.
Oh, wow.
Because I knew how to type, right? So then that just kind of expanded my world. It was right after the coup in Chile. They were very, leftist professors. And then I started seeing people that I knew going to college. And I was like, man, I want to go to college. So there was an EOP program. So I was able to start going to Cal State LA. And, my husband didn't want me to go to school and stuff. So anyway, I left him and went to college.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was working at Cal State LA. I was a TA at Hollenbeck Junior High School.
Oh, wow.
I was a TA there with other people from teatro and stuff. So I was in Teatro Primavera at the time. I got involved in teatro, the Chicano movement. And also at Hollenbeck, who were TAs there, was there, other teatristas were there, and Los Lobos.
Oh, wow.
Also TAs there.
Wow.
So, and then, so my friend Ima Garcia, bless her soul, I love her so much, one of my longtime sisters also, is, she's like, hey, compañera, there's going to be an audition for this play called Zoot Suit. We should go. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll go. And then she was like, no, really, we gotta go, Evelina, we gotta go. I was like, okay. I mean, I went on this audition because she bugged me so much, right?
Yeah.
there I go, walk into this audition, Mark Taper Forum, right there, where you audition in where the annex is.
The annex.
There, didn't know, the annex. I didn't know, what I was doing. I walk into this room, there's Luis Valdez and Danny Valdez, and they have me read this scene, and I was so nervous, but it kind of helped.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of really on the verge of tears. And so, anyway, I did the audition, and then I got a call back. And I wasn't going to go to the callback because this was not what I thought I wanted to do. Be a professional actor. I was in the Chicano movement, doing Chicano theater. To me, that was it. That was the most important thing. So, I get the call back. I don't go. And then Irma calls me up. She goes, "Sister, compañera, what's going on, man? Luis Valdez is looking for you." So I was so naive. I just called the taper back and said, "Hey, I missed my call back. Can I come back?" They gave me another appointment.
Wow.
I went back, and the next thing I know, I'm the female lead in Zoot Suit.
Wow.
So that was the New Theater for Now workshop.
So
it was a 10-day run.
Wow. Okay.
And I was Bella. I remember Luis was still, writing, called me into his room. "What would you say in this situation?" "Well, I would probably say this."
Wow.
And and that was the first time I met Eddie Olmos. So I come out of that callback. They say, "Go down the hallway." I go in there, walk in that room, and there's Edward James Olmos, who before he's Edward James Olmos, right? And so the choreographer, Roberta Esparza, who is from El Teatro Campesino, has me dancing with, Eddie. So I do my dance audition, and then I get cast in it. Wow. So that was the New Theater for Now version. And then what happened was they did the main stage version of Zoot Suit, and I was bumped down to play Lupe, the sister, and Rose Portillo, who actually had studied acting, played the role of Bella, the role that I.
Wow, what a story! Had you before auditioning? Had you seen a show at the Taper?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I had, because my sister Terry, my oldest sister Terry, she's always loved the theater.
Wow. Okay.
So she bought us tickets to see. I had only seen one show there called, I think it was called Bessie, and about an African American singer. Bessie Sings the Blues. Bessie Sings the Blues was the name of the show. And I had been to the Taper to see that show with my sister Terry.
Wow.
I had not seen very many shows at all.
Yeah. Wow.
So that we never grew up doing.
Yeah.
Because my mom was a single mother raising 5 of us. We were, she worked all the time. She worked at Sears, and basically, I would go to school, come home for lunch, because we didn't have money for lunch. I'd come home at lunchtime with my grandparents, my nana, my tata, and then go back to school and see my mom in the evenings. That was like the only time I saw my mom.
Right. Wow. Amazing. So we spoke to, Jose Luis last Friday, and we kind of talked about Teatro La Esperanza, and just that collaborative process. Someone wrote, someone did the costumes, someone did lighting. And then so after Zoot the workshop, or after, I guess, the run, did you go to Broadway with them?
No.
You stayed here?
I didn't go to Broadway. I was pregnant. I was expecting my son Fidel.
That's right.
So Fidel was actually in Zoot Suit.
Yeah, Fidel.
So I was 7 months pregnant, and I couldn't go to Broadway because I was pregnant. And so yeah. But I was there for the opening because
right.
at a certain point I had to leave the show in
Right,
LA.
right.
So, the show was so successful at the taper that what happened is they purchased the Aquarius Theater.
Which just became Nickelodeon after, right?
Yeah, right? Afterward. And then so then there was a second cast. So I stayed on with the second cast. Well, the first cast, the original cast went to Broadway.
Oh, wow, okay.
I stayed on at the Aquarius until I was around 7 months pregnant, and then I left the show. And luckily, I was able to go to the opening in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a different show in New York.
Yeah.
It was it was big Broadway show, and it was an amazing night going to Studio 54 with Luis Valdez, and also Eddie Olmos having a party with mariachis. He found mariachis in New York.
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
Yeah, at that time, all over New York, but back then.
I went to a bar in New York called Florencia Trece, which would be a crazy name to have as a restaurant here in LA. But the guy said he stayed in New York because he went to see the opening. He went to see Zoot Suit on Broadway, and he loved New York so much. He opened up this like really Chicano bar. They have in their drinks, they give the little homie little cholitos, which is really cool. So there was that, and then so after that,
and after that, I had my son Fidel, and then I had always admired El Teatro La Esperanza. I mean, I thought, their aesthetic, their professionalism was, they were very different from the Teatro Campesino.
Right.
They did what's called docudrama, and with our mentor Jorge Huerta.
Right.
And so they started Santa Barbara out of UCSB. So they were looking for somebody to come into the company, and I did an interview with the company, and so they offered me that position. And so I went to go live, and before that, I went to a theater conference in Fresno where I met Jose Luis Valenzuela.
Oh.
And so he was kind of like following me around on the weekend, and hey, why don't we go? He was like doing his movida. He invited me to go to lunch.
Did he wear suits back then?
No.
He was just he was casual, Jose Luis.
Big curly hair, big old beard. And so we went out to lunch, and he was like, he went for it. He was really direct. He was just like, okay, look, you're an actress, I'm an actor, why don't we live together? And I'm like, dude, I don't even know you, and he, well, think about it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so after that, I said to my friend, man, that guy Jose Luis Valenzuela was after me all weekend. And she's like, oh yeah? I go, yeah. She goes, I heard he's a really good lover. I was like, nah, and I picked up the phone. So that's kind of how our romance started.
Wow.
And then they were looking for somebody in Esperanza, and then I went to Santa Barbara. But the deal was with Jose Luis, Fidel was 1 year old. And the thing was, I said to Jose Luis, we're going for 1 year, because,
to Santa Barbara, right?
Yeah, Santa Barbara, because I already started my professional acting career in Los Angeles.
All right.
I had an agent, all that stuff. And then we landed up there 4 years. And in the 4th year, I was like, okay, look, I'm going back to LA. You want to come? Let's go. If not, I'm going back to LA. So he came with me.
Yeah. And did you guys start Latino Theater Company? I think it was after the Latino Theater Initiative in LA when he left? Or was that?
No, we started as, so we came to LA. We did a play, one of Esperanza's plays. That's where we first met Lucy Rodriguez.
Oh, right.
She came into audition. She had just moved. She had
Ah.
just moved.
Lucy's watching. Hello, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy. So she landed up. She was studying at Strasbourg, right?
Wow.
I guess she heard about the audition, and she came in and auditioned, and she was really good. So it was just Jose Luis and I, $150 at this theater in East LA called the Jorge Negrete Theater.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did this play, Hijos, with an amazing cast. You know, we had Dal Zamora, Trinidad Silva, Angela Moya, me, I can't remember who else. But anyway, so it did great. Back then, there was a thing called the Dramalog Awards.
Yeah.
You've never heard of them, Javi?
I have. Just because I've been updating a Company of Angels website, and they used to get them back in the 60s.
So we won the Dramalog Award.
Wow.
Right? And actually, I guess one of the people from the LAAT, which was before the LATC, Bill or Diane came to see the show. And then when they were building the LATC at where it is now,
the Security National Building, whatever it was before, right?
They converted it from a bank into what it is now, a theater. And Jose Luis went in, and well, you heard that last week, but he said, I just need a room with actors. And then since I knew actors like Lupe Ontiveros and Sal Lopez, and
right, because did you meet Sal Lopez during Zoot Zoot? Because he was.
Yes, he was part of the second.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's how long I've known Sal. And so Sal, when I started dating Jose Luis, didn't like it. So, what are you doing with that guy, man?
Oh, no.
You can do better than that. So
we should call this a Zoom the chismes of teatro. Teatristas en chisme.
Yeah. So anyway, so he started what was called the Latino Theater Lab.
Right.
And so we were in the lab. So a lot of people started out in the lab, and then it dwindled down. And then there was the big lab, and then there was a younger lab, which Lucy and Jeff are part of. And then when the original LATC, under the artistic directorship of Bill Bushnell and Diane White and Alan Mandel, closed down in 91 because of lack of support from the city. Then Jose Luis went to the Taper and started, and then got a big grant, $5 million grant, and started the Latino Theater Initiative. When we moved out of the LATC, we then changed our name to the Latino Theater Company.
Oh, okay.
So that's how. But, we started together in 1985. So, we're like at, I don't know how many years, 35 years.
Yeah, 35.
As
34. Wow. And then so what was your first full-length play written for the Latino Theater Company, and which play was that? Or was it like just short? I mean, I know that.
What happened was when I was in Esperanza, I started writing because we worked with what's called the collective creation.
Right.
Now we call it devised, but it's a collective creation where everybody kind of participates in the creation. Yeah. Everybody had to direct, everybody had to write, everybody had to do everything, right? So it re-sparked this whole idea of writing, which I hadn't done since way in elementary school. So that's when I started writing again. And then when we were at, Jose Luis left the Taper, and we went to be the resident company at Plaza de la Raza, I think. I don't remember the chronology, but then Sal Lopez said there was going to be a playwriting contest, and Sal said, if you write a play, I'll write a play. And so I wrote a play. and I wrote it for Lupe Ontiveros and Angela Moya, who are like the other actresses in our company. And so it won. It won the competition. It was called How Else Am I Supposed to Know I'm Still Alive? And then
did Sal write one?
Yeah, Sal
he
wrote
did?
one too. Really good one too.
Oh wow!
But he didn't win. I did. So and then after that, my first full length play was Luminarias, and also that came from Sal motivating me because I had originally written it as a screenplay, and then he said, "Why don't we do it as a play?"
Whoa, okay.
So then I rewrote it as a play, and then we back at the LATC. We raised the money for it and we produced Luminarias, and it was, very successful. And then we made Luminarias the movie.
Right.
Yeah. And then after that, now Diane and Luis are at the Latino Theater Initiative at the Taper, and then they call me in and say they want to commission me a play. So actually, Diane and Luis commissioned Dementia.
Wow.
So yeah, because it was soon after losing my compadre, Jose Salcedo, to AIDS. And
was Jose a member of Teatro La Esperanza?
Yes.
Okay.
And also he worked at the Taper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then after he passed away, when they came in and said, Luis and Diane said they wanted to commission a play, I went in with, a few ideas, and then I wanted to write a play about a Chicano dying of AIDS and, what that experience was, because we had lived it.
Yeah. Wow.
And so that's Dementia. So, and then that was my second full-length play.
Wow, that was actually when I was in high school. One of my friends who was in my theater, in my drama club at high school, Frances Lepe, her uncle was good friends with Sal, and I guess they were like, they grew up in the Florencia neighborhood down in Florence, Normandy here, where Sal grew up, South Central. And he's like, "Oh, we got tickets to this play," and I was like, "What?" I was like, crazy, we had never. I mean, this was like late 90s. We had never like even gone into downtown. Like, what? Like, you don't go there, And we went to go see Dementia, and I remember, being this high school kid surrounded by drag queens, and Edward James Olmos in the back. Like and I was just like, this is cool. Like, I remember seeing the play, and I had never seen myself on stage. Like, I think at the time I had seen on TV, my drama teacher like videotaped illegally Freak by John Leguizamo. And that blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, like this guy, he's Latino and he's on Broadway. Like, this is crazy. But I had never seen someone like Chicano or like me, like in a live theater performance. And that was like one of my first time. I think it was way even before that. I think at the Margot Albert Theater, I think I had seen something way back, because I used to take tap and acting classes there, so I might have been there also. But I remember one of my experiences. Plaza La Raza. I remember for the LATC was seeing this play, and I remember to Eddie, I told him, because he went to Belvedere Elementary as I did, grew up like literally down the street from where I grew up. And I remember like, I went to Belvedere, I'm from East LA, and I was like, I love this type of stuff. And he's like, and I remember him saying like, well, anytime you guys want to come, he introduced me to Jose Luis, come see theater, just let them know Edward James Olmos says he'll buy your tickets. And I was like, what? And, life went away. And I remember coming back and being like the full circle and, coming back, working for the Latino Theater Company. And that stuff. So I know that, so you said Luminarias first started as a screenplay, then a play. And then the first play that was commissioned, Dementia. And I know now that's been in development for a film also, right?
Yeah. we actually filmed the screenplay. We've done that a lot, right? Like How Else Am I Supposed to Know I'm Still
Right. Oh,
Alive?
okay.
We adapted it to a film, a short film that, you know, toured the world, you know. So Lupe and Angela were like out there.
Wow.
This little film. And then we adapted, so Luminarias was a screenplay adapted to a play and then readapted into a screenplay. And so we did Luminarias, the movie. And then with Dementia, we also adapted it to the screen. And that's been a long process, because what happened in the meantime is we became the operators of the Los Angeles Theater Center. And then that became all consuming.
Yeah.
You know, we were a small theater company with an office on the third floor in the building. And then we became, you know, the operators of the building. We got a 20-year lease with the city. And so we became responsible for that building. Yeah. And we still are.
Yeah, yeah.
So where was I?
Luminarias. Dementia becoming the film.
Yeah. So then that's what took so long for Dementia, the process, right? Because we filmed it, and then years went by. You know, we're doing plays, but we weren't dealing with finishing this movie. And then there was a film festival, the Guadalajara Film Festival, a few years back, where you can submit your movie and then get finishing funds, right?
Oh, okay.
So you get, you know, editing, sound, you know, all of that stuff. So we submitted and we won so many things to finish the film.
Wow.
But again, we're still running this theater, so years go by. And so we're finally finishing it. And it's a great movie. I mean, I think it's, you know, Sal, he's the lead in it, as he was in the play. And, you know, unlike, you know, other movies where like somebody originates the character on stage.
Yeah, they take over your role.
Yeah, we're all playing the roles that we created on stage, the Latino theater company, and it's a beautiful movie. We'll see, you know, where it goes.
Exciting.
After we finish it, we'll submit it to festivals.
Yeah, there's a little, maybe it's probably like 15-minute collage documentary that we should include. And for those that don't know, that little 15-minute documentary is Jose Luis and I trekking from downtown LA in my little Nissan truck with boxes of film into Tijuana. Like the Judicial is just opening up all the boxes. Like there's a film in there. And like, this is like what, 2014. And they're like, how is the film? Because it was literally film, like rollos of film.
Yeah, because it was the Guadalajara Film Festival in LA. So everything we won to finish the film was in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right? So we had to get the film to Mexico.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to ship it here, you know, we tried to take it to Tijuana and then send it on a truck.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah, so those are fun times.
So we, listen, Luis, hockey, let's go to Tijuana.
It was a great experience. It was fun. I mean, I remember we were stuck on the border crossing back for like 5 hours, getting to know one another. Him leaving his phone, and us thinking of like being stuck in 5 hours in our car and Jose Luis's mind, like, you know, we're alike in so many things, and he's like, man, we should do some theater here, you know, like while people wait. So you talked about playwriting and acting. Which do you prefer one? I mean, I think we haven't seen you on stage since Destiny of Desire at the Goodman. Is that right?
Oh, gee.
Or is there?
Was that before premeditation?
Yeah. No, that was after premeditation.
After premeditation.
I think so.
I guess. Wow, has it been that long since I've done a play? Yeah.
Because are you in dementia? Yeah, right. Oh yeah, no, to be dementia in I think Encuentro.
Yeah, 2017.
There you go. So that's do you prefer one or the other now?
I like writing. I like acting in our company.
Yeah.
I like that. That's my home base. That's we're an ensemble that's been together for 35 years. It's Jose Luis Valenzuela, Evelina Fernandez, Sal Lopez, Jeff Rivas, and Lucy Rodriguez. So we're a company that we have been through so many creative processes together that it's a beautiful experience for us to work together.
Oh wow.
So I like that. I like film. I've done some major films. I was in American Me with Edward James Olmos and Luminarias. But I don't like going on auditions for
film. Oh, and especially, imagine right now, like during this quarantine, like have to audition like Zoom or through TV. What's it called? Submit like your self tape and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I prefer that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Well, only because like you get a second shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You get to look at it, and you think, oh, I can do better than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really don't like going out on TV and film auditions. Sometimes people look for me, and if they look for me, because I don't have a theatrical agent anymore, if they look for me, then I think, okay, then they're really interested in me. Then I'll do a self-tape.
Yeah.
But I love playwriting because I think I write for a very specific audience, and I tell very specific stories. And that is stories about the U.S. Latinx experience.
Right.
So it's about those of us who live in the U.S. And mostly Chicano, Mexicano characters. I find so much beauty in our community. And there are so many stories about who we are.
Yeah.
And how we participated in history in this country, but those stories have not been told.
Right.
So a lot of my motivation for writing is because I want to tell those stories. And so I feel this pressure, as you get older, you're like, man, how many more years, am I going to be, or how many more plays am I going to be able to write? And so, I'm more focused on writing now.
Yeah.
We're going to create another play, the company, collectively, and that'll probably be the next time that
you'll be on stage.
Yeah.
Nice. I know that we have in our season Sleep with the Angels, hopefully in the fall, right? That's your newest play?
Yeah, that's my newest play. Sleep with the Angels. It's an idea that I've been mulling around for a long time, and it's basically a woman who comes from Mexico to work for a Chicano family as a nanny, but she's kind of like magical. So she's kind of like a Mexican Mary Poppins. But she's undocumented. Yeah. And so I wrote it. We did a reading of it. You were in it, Javi and Elia, a lot of people from our artistic family. And so, we're going to produce that in the fall, hopefully.
Hopefully,
depending on what's going on with this pinche Corona Cabrona.
Speaking of the Corona Cabrona, what has I guess, I don't know if the right word, it kept you busy? What have you been watching? What have you been doing? What's kept you like me? I have anxiety of just being indoors.
Well, we started out pretty well. We were walking 5 miles a day, Jose Luis and I, and basically our day starts late because we stay up like watching TV till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we wake up late. And then so I have this window of when I eat. I eat between 12 noon and 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our day kind of revolves around that. So like we eat at noon, and then he has a lot of meetings with our staff. We still have our staff meetings, and development meetings and budget meetings, and our staff is still on salary for as long as we'll be able to, because they're a wonderful, wonderful staff of people who are committed to our mission. And so we want to keep them on salary. So there's meetings and reading and eating and napping and no writing.
Yeah, no writing.
I wrote a little blog post, and I'm like,
yeah.
I thought maybe I would do that a little bit more.
Well, actually, we'll share that blog post. So that I don't think I've shared it on our social media, but we'll definitely share that.
So that's what we've been doing. It's interesting that this is an interesting time, especially for theater. I don't want to think about it too much, but there's a few things. One is that when are we going to be able to have people in our theater again?
Yeah.
And when we do, are we going to have to continue the social distancing?
Right.
Which is really going to change the experience for the audience.
Yeah.
People are going to want to come to the theater and feel like they're sitting alone. That's one thing. And then the other thing is I worry about Jose Luis and I, and how long our demographic is going to have to stay in.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like we're probably going to be the last people that are going to be able to come out of the quarantine. So those are the things that worry us. Also, we're we don't have any income, we don't have box office, we don't have rentals, and we still have to pay for
I mean that's
and security and all the stuff
I think that's I'm part of one of those salaried employees that is continued in that payment, and I'm very grateful. I mean, as I spoke to Jose Luis last week, the same projects that Jose Luis was working, I've known since last year in May, all come crashing down. And so I'm really grateful. That's where this platform, and, for those that don't know, it's a beautiful thing. Our staff is continuing, our full-time staff. We have a lot of projects in the horizon that we want to do. And so if you're able to donate, you can actually donate. There's a link up here, down here, that you can donate directly through Facebook. It's really easy. Or you can visit our website, the latc.org/donate, and you can donate for us, to continue to pay the full-time staff, to continue to see us in the fall, or even continue programming in this capacity to connect with you all. Evelina, thank you so much. I think we have maybe a couple minutes that we can go into some questions from folks. Let's see if you can hear me. Some questions as they come in. So Henry Reese says, "Where did you get the idea for Sleep with the Angels?"
Oh, where did I get the idea? That's a tough one. I think that I got the idea from the fact that so many of us who are Chicanos, Mexican Americans, like, for example, I'm fifth generation, right? And but my roots are from a little town in Jalisco called Paso de Cuarenta. And in our family, we have 5 generations who have lived here, but we also still have people in Cuarenta. And those people continue to come.
Wow, yeah.
They're still continuing to come from. So if we have a family gathering, we might have a gathering where You have, my nieces and nephews who don't speak any Spanish at all, and then our cousins who recently arrived who don't speak any English at all. So, and they work hard. They work really hard. Our cousins from Mexico, and there's this whole part of the economy of the country that depends on this undocumented workforce.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a way of showing the life of these people when they come to live in the United States. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. As we wait for, if you have questions, you can get them in right now. Evelina, I know that you a Mexican trilogy, an American story that's being developed for TV, right?
Yes. I write for TV a little bit, not too much, but so we're developing with Imagine Entertainment. Imagine Entertainment is Brian Grazer and Ron Howard. So their company, I'm working with also Wise Entertainment, who I wrote on their show called East Los High, and executive over there at Imagine, Sami Flavi. And so they came to see the show, the Mexican Trilogy and American Story, the 6-hour version. Very interested in developing it. So we'll see what happens. In TV,
yeah,
you just don't know. There's so much content out there.
Yeah. I mean,
so it follows the history of a family from them fleeing the Mexican Revolution to the present. So it's a saga.
Yeah. We have a question here from Juan Luis Acevedo, who's our vecino from Puerto Rico, New York, by way of now a citizen of Cincinnati. Stay there until election so that you can be a swing voter. He's asking, for those of us that want to learn about the Chicano experience and its relevance and contributions to national theater, will you be able to provide a list of essential reading books or articles? I think we have some. Our last Chantal Rodriguez wrote a book about the Latino Theater Initiative at the Taper.
Yeah.
And then Evelina you have some books also, right?
Yes. Yeah, my plays are published. Well, a Mexican Trilogy at Samuel French, Premeditation in Encuentro 2017.
Oh, yes, right. Encuentro anthology, right?
Yeah, and then there's How Else Am I Supposed to Know I'm Still Alive in plays by women of color. Shit, I don't remember the full name of that.
Yeah, Elia posted, Juan Luis, you can check out also books by Jorge Huerta in regards to Chicano theater.
Yes, Necessary Theater by Jorge Huerta. Thank you. If you want to learn about the history of Chicanos, Occupied America by Rudy Acuña.
Yeah. And
if you want to continue, we can compile a list.
Yeah, we can compile a list. I'll share. You can also find out more information about Evelina at evelinafernandez.com. The plays, history. I think we're going to be putting up a blog and videos. Also, we'll call it Evelina Day today, and we'll post several stuff up there. And so that people can get. One last question as we wrap up here. This is from Mercy Flore Islas. What or who keeps you going when it's rough? What or who?
I would say, besides my husband and my children, my community. Community. I feel like I said, I see so much beauty in who we are as a community, and I just keep finding stories. I mean, I meet people, I see people, I have experiences, and I'm like, you don't know who we are. And I feel like just the world really doesn't know who we are.
Yeah.
People. And that is what keeps me going and keeps me, motivated to keep telling the stories.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for chatting with us.
For giving me a reason to get out of my pajamas.
I know. That's my reason also.
I'm putting on my red lips and
hoops. I saw the hoops when you were. I thought you wanted me to. No. Thank you so much. We raised $25 so far right now, but we can keep going. That's not bad. Keeps us going. Thank you so much. We're gonna continue this. We'll surprise you with who's next of the company or someone from our artistic family. You can share this. Visit our website, the LATC, or evelinafernandez.com for more information. And we'll post throughout the day blogs, videos of some of the plays, including short videos of that show archive performances of Solitude and several Premeditation, and I think several others. So thank you so much, Evelina. We'll talk to you soon. Peace. All right.
Are we done?